So, okay, good afternoon and welcome to our second live virtual tea and toast. The tea and toast tradition being a tradition from the army of getting together for some toast and a bit of comfort, all coming together. So we thought that'd be a nice format to have some informal chats with what people are doing this year to mark Remembrance. Today's group of people are all involved in youth organisations who are always brilliant supporters of Poppy Scotland and Remembrance and have a real visual presence on Remembrance Sunday. But of course this year things are different. So what I'm going to do is ask the group to introduce themselves, tell us a wee bit about them, and then they're going to tell us what they're doing this year to mark Remembrance. So if I can start with Pauline. Pauline Spengler, would you kindly introduce yourselves and tell us a wee bit about your group?
Okay, I live in Melrose in the Scottish borders. I'm involved with Geraldine Guiding and have been for 21 years. I've started off doing brownies, and then I did guides as well. And then there was plenty of leaders in brownies, so I just did guides. I'm a district commissioner as well, and I'm a Scottish trainer. Besides that, these are my main roles. I've done rainbows in the past as well because we didn't have any leaders, but now I just concentrate on brownies and on guides. Obviously, with us not being able to meet face to face, we've swapped over to Zoom. Not all units are Zooming at the moment. I'm actually doing 2 brownie units at the same time in my district because we can do that over Zoom. So Geraldine Guiding have actually brought out some activities for each section of guiding. So for brownies, they have brought out this, I don't know if you can see it, Stone of Remembrance.
Yes.
And also to go with these, while the girls are doing this on Zoom, for the leaders to read out, we have got some they've produced some World War II stories and some key worker stories, just to kind of tie it all in. And there's another activity for guides. We will not be able to lay the wreath this year. So because I'm also involved with Poppy Scotland, I'm actually the area organiser for Melrose, Poppy Scotland. So what the British Legion in Scotland have asked us to do is for us to go and lay the wreaths on the Saturday so that they're all there for the Sunday, because we've got a wreath for brownies and we've got a wreath for guides. And as I say, normally we would parade with all the other youth organisations in Melrose and the community council and everybody. So that's what we're having to do. We've obviously had to adapt our whole programme to do on Zoom. And on the whole, it's working well, but you just need to think out the box at some times. And also we're obviously getting together with our peers to see how we can work around it and how we can have workarounds and everything. So that's how we're working it this year.
That's great. It's good to hear that these things are still able to go ahead and you're able to meet, but in different ways. So no, that's great. I'm going to move round to Derek. Derek, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you're involved with.
No problem. Good afternoon all. Yeah, my name is Derek Coulter. I'm the Deputy Commandant, Lieutenant Colonel for the Army Cadet Force within Glasgow and Lanarkshire Battalion. We have got 24 detachments or units within the Glasgow and Lanarkshire area, just over 600 adult volunteers and cadets within the organisation. Our age group's 12 to 18 for the cadets. And it's great to say we've returned back face-to-face training 2 weeks ago. So this is week 3. Not all units went back. Initially went back staggered, but our last 2 units, one in East Kilbride and one in Glasgow, open this week. So we are back face-to-face training, which is great. And I'll tell you later about what we're planning doing for.
Okay. That's great.
Can I just say, Geraldine Guiding, we could go back face to face. However, I've got underlying condition and I was shielding through the summer. So some of the units are going back face to face, but most of us are Zooming.
Okay. Yeah, so there's still adaptations. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's great. If I move around to Jennifer Buchan, Jennifer, can you tell us a wee bit about you've got your two hats on today, really. There's a couple of things you're involved with.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Buchan and I live in Corriers Village in Renfrewshire. I've been a member of the Scout Association since 2008 when my husband and I started off a beaver group in the village. Then we started Cubs and then they got bigger, so then we had to start Scouts. Then they grew up, so then we had to start an Explorer unit. And now we're getting network organised as well. And as of last week, my husband became the district commissioner for Greenock and district. All through the summer and since lockdown, we have every section has the Beavers, Cubs, Scouts and Explorers have been Zooming. And again, same as our Army Cadets, we went back to face 2 or 3 weeks ago. But like mainly outside stuff, especially the Explorers. We have been told in Greenock that there is no laying of wreaths or anything, no parade, nothing. So it was supposed to be happening on Sunday and everybody requested an online thing to do. And hello, I'm in a Zoom call. Bye. That was a Greenock District Commissioner on the phone.
He says you can lay wreaths after all. He's changed his mind.
So there's no leaf laying or anything like that. So my actual daytime job is a celebrant with Humanist Society Scotland. So I write ceremonies, but I'm also the Humanist chaplain at Strathclyde Uni, and I have been for 6 years. And every year, like this will be the 3rd year, I've written the Remembrance Day ceremony for Strathclyde Uni. So what I did, I've written a Remembrance Day ceremony. It's been recorded and the readings are going to be dropped in from the student body and the principal of the university. And after it's been checked, that is going to be allowed to be shared by anybody who wants to share it. Since the script's been seen, then I've had to adapt it for Scouts. And it's now going to have young people throughout from West Region doing readings and everything in it. And one of the district commissioners for Dumbartonshire is actually in the Navy, so he'll be being recorded laying a wreath at his local memorial. So there is actually a Scout video going to be available. And it's for, again, it's fully inclusive, it's for everyone. So that's our, as I say, our Scout groups and everything are aged between 5 3/4 and 18. The script was written for uni, so the script is really sort of for high school age and onwards, because it is quite, it's where after the silence, but during the silence, etc., it's going to have actual photographs of young people, because we found that a lot of the time our young people talked about the veterans as, you know, the old people that got killed in the war, and it was trying to the veterans have lived, but their friends were the same age as you. So all the photos that we're actually using on the video are of very young people, and emphasising the ages of the people who died from 1914, and obviously as well including photographs of people who are sometimes left out, so the people who died who were in the Allied forces, who came from overseas, people from India, people from Nepal, and then obviously as time's gone on, the service women, and that kind of thing. So the photos are going to emphasise that, because essentially our young people assume that veterans are elderly gentlemen, and we wanted them to connect with the age that people actually were when they went away and they didn't come back. And we also want them to concentrate on the people who did come back, but they've come back different, and what difficulties they face. So the last line of the ceremony is, now that the poppies have blown away, what are you going to do?
It's a very poignant read, and Jennifer shared the service with us, and it does make mention of the young people, and that is very powerful for the young people who when they kind of grasp that it was people who were going and they were saying they were older than they were so that they could go as well. So it is a good way to remind them that the veterans have come a long way, and we do a lot of work along those lines as well to talk about how veterans could be, you know, any age. It's not just as I say older gentlemen. So I'm sure that'll be a very sort of powerful watch for people, very emotive, and it's great to hear all the inclusion of everything as well, because we've been working on resources ourselves on women's roles and on the allied forces, so it's nice to hear everybody included in that. I'm sure that'll be well received, Jennifer, so thank you for that. We can come out with some other ideas as well. So I'm going to move on to Megan. If you could tell us a wee bit about what you're doing.
Or Fiona.
Fiona, sorry, yes.
It says Megan on the screen.
I'm
sorry,
in front of me. Yes, Fiona, you do.
So, well, my role as a group scout leader, so I oversee sort of Beavers, Cubs and Scouts. I also run pubs. We've been meeting face to face since September, but next week we move back indoors. We meet in Coulter, so we've very close connections to the army because they actually provide the building for us. So this year we're doing Remembrance Sunday this year, but just ourselves, because we feel youth members feel we have to have something, because most of them, their mum or dad have served in Afghanistan. So they've all said we have to do something.
Great. So, and what else have you been doing then this year, Fiona? What kind of ideas have people had about how you can reimagine some of the things that you might normally do?
Well, we did Zoom over the summer. Just for Beavers and Cubs. Scouts weren't interested in going online at all. But as soon as we announced when we were starting back outdoors in September, just about everybody sort of came back. We're actually using the COVID lockdown as a good point. It's brought us back into what scouting is, rather than just doing any activities, which obviously our curriculum does cover a lot of subjects. But we've sort of lost touch on what scouting is, like learning life skills, doing stuff outdoors. We're actually, even when we start back next week, we're sticking with traditional scouting for a while, so that when we get to go camping next year, hopefully, the kids are doing it all themselves with little input from leaders. We've had at one point cubs pitching full-size trophies. Yes, we're using this to get back into what scouting should be.
Absolutely, and I think Jennifer's also mentioned about being outside, and at least there are organisations you associate with doing lots of things outdoors. So I suppose that's the advantage, that we're trying to do more things outdoors because it's deemed to be a bit safer. So and yeah, it's nice for them to be hoping that they'll be able to be properly camping and interacting again next year. So Derek, will you tell us a wee bit more about how you've adapted, because we're very much used to seeing all the cadets in Glasgow when it's Remembrance, Poppy Saturday, and it's going to be a real shame. We're going to really miss them this year, being out and about in force. They do such a great amount of work for us and raise a huge amount of money. Could you tell us what are the adaptations that are happening?
Yeah, it's been very disappointing. I mean, the Army Cadet Forces is probably most youth organisations. We are very good at getting together large numbers. So you're right, we would have over 200 cadets out this week during the week, covering every single large supermarket in Glasgow and most supermarkets in Lanarkshire at night from 6 o'clock at night till that, obviously the old and bold, as I like to call them. But as Jennifer said, even young veterans now, they obviously, when they stand down at 5 o'clock, we take over and go. So it's a shame we can't do that. The Army Cadet Force took a decision, which I was heavily involved in from Brigade, that we would do no formal shaking of the cans this year, which is really disappointing, because on the Saturday as well, as you know, we take again out 350 cadets in Glasgow and Lanarkshire alone to cover the areas, which brings in about £100,000 a year. So it's great. We've been doing a lot of virtual training, a lot of virtual calls, a lot of Zoom calls. We've had inspirational speakers over the time, but trying to get any form of fundraising or ideas we're finding challenging. We get approached a lot. All youth organisations, because we've got such big numbers, we've had lots of charities trying to get us to do anything. Poppyscotland is our official charity, which we do sponsor and trying, and we set up 11 for 11 this year. I've set it up with all the Army Cadet Forces in Scotland. I think it's only our battalion, but I've set up a campaign called 11 for 11, and I want cadets or anything to do 11 anythings for the first 11 days of November. And we've got some great stories. I've got one instructor who's going to visit 11 war memorials, one each day. I gave myself, I thought was an easy task, and day 2 I'm struggling. I'm doing 11 acts of kindness for 11 days. It sounds easy, but I think I'm at 8 today, so if I can formally thank you, or maybe that's
joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, joining you, certainly one.
Your time today.
Doing 11 acts of kindness. I've got other people doing 11 press-ups, people giving up chocolate for 11 days. But to have 650 adults and cadets, I'm going to be honest, I reckon if we get 20 involved, it would be a bonus. It's just so difficult trying to get MD to do any form of fundraising now. And again, I think I'm finding, even with instructors and cadets, people think online giving, social media, etc., is well used by everybody. It's not. I mean, there's lots of young people and lots of instructors that we have that don't use virtual. So we've also set up obviously our own area organisers Just Giving page.
Yep.
But I'm really struggling to get a lot of interaction from everybody, which is disappointing. For the actual Remembrance itself, like the other groups, we can't lay any wreaths. It's only the head of the army who'll lay a wreath. Hold on. So I'm just going to put on my headphones, sorry. Yeah, so we are... Sorry about that, my kids have just come in from uni. Yeah, so we are not laying in the wreaths or anything this year, but we are doing a doorstep salute on the Sunday, where all cadets will be encouraged to stand on the doorstep at 11 o'clock and pay their salute for the 2 minutes, and then we're doing it on the 11th as well. But general fundraising we're just finding really, really challenging, I'm afraid.
It's understandable, but that's your 11s is great. It's good to have these lists, and if you can see on our social media the ideas that we got from teachers as well, and it's good we're trying to get them to share ideas. So it's good stuff to hear what other people are doing and get some good ideas from that. But you've got a lot of young people to try and rally there in a different way. So there are challenges. So, but we certainly hope to be able to see the cadets out and about next year. We're definitely going to miss them this weekend, and all that they do. So, Pauline, what other things have you got happening with the Girl Guides?
I mean, we used to go out Poppy Saturday as well. The guides, we used to go out, and it was particularly quite profitable when there was a game on at Melrose, a rugby game. Because you would catch them going in, and quite often we would actually get notes instead of just the 1 and 2 pennies, which was always good. Obviously this year we can't do that, and as I say, with the wreath laying, it's just going to be my daughter and I, because she's also a leader, so we can't take the girls with us, so it'll just be us on a Saturday, as we're as British Legion Melrose have asked us to do. And I I went out to all the shops and put the poppies in the shops. And I went into the co-op in Melrose and I said to the guys, this is the first time I've been in here since March, because I've not been to any shops, because I've been a shielder, and I was just glad to be back home once I'd dished them all out. What is also, Geraldine Guiding have teamed up with Children in Need this year. So there's like almost 2 things in November, which is Remembrance Sunday and Children in Need. But also Geraldine Guiding have produced some Remembrance badges, cloth badges, and a candle, I think, and some charm key rings and some pin badges as well. So that's what Geraldine Guiding are doing, and from what I understand, it'll be money donated to the British Legion for that as well.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is a challenging year for a lot of charities. So we're as I say, just hoping everybody can do what they can over the next few weeks, and we'll see what happens.
What we're also encouraging all the girls to do is, like they put rainbows out, put rainbows on their windows, to put a poppy in their window, and for leaders on Remembrance Sunday to put their uniform on and do their silence at 11 o'clock.
Yes, the poppies in the window has been a great one. I've been putting lots of things in windows this year, and we're very much looking forward to being able to see lots of nice poppies. A lot of schools are doing lots of projects like that. One school's made these big, beautiful red tissue and black card ones that local businesses and families are sponsoring and putting up in their windows. So we've seen a lot of creativity. It just shows you people can adapt. Does anyone get anything else that they're doing that we haven't heard about?
I know in Darnick, which is just a small offshoot of Melrose, they are encouraging the children to paint stones. It's one of the activities we have for brownies, and for everybody in Darnick to do it, and just to leave around for the kids to go and find them and pick them up.
Yes, yeah, there's lots of rock painting this year, and that's a nice one to be outside as well. So I've seen some beautifully painted ones. In fact, the Rotary in Renfrew, they've got some talented people who've been creating some of the painted poppy pebbles. So they are lovely. So yeah, is there anything else anyone has got going on? We, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at some of our resources online for ideas, and there's also the W100M Exhibition, which is a museum exhibition that's been touring but is off the road just now. But we've created it in 3D, so it might be something that your young people might want to have a look at. So it's a virtual experience of seeing this exhibition in 3D, and it's 101 stories from World War I. They're fantastic stories, and there's resources to go with them. So that might be something they would be interested in seeing as we're not getting out and about to many museums, but they could do that as a group activity. It's definitely worth a look. I'm sure all of you would enjoy having a look at that. It's a lovely piece of work as well. Was there anything else, Yvonne, in your notes that we had that people are doing?
Well, Dorothy, who was planning to join the chat, she gave the same sort of stories. They were not able to parade or lay a wreath. So donating funds is going to be difficult, as the scouting organisation's been discouraged from handling cash, if that's something you've heard. But they're trying to get around it. They may be thinking of asking parents to put an extra £1 in supermarket poppy appeal tins, or use the packet of seeds that they received. She ordered some of our learning materials and fundraising materials. You can get packets of poppy seeds and balloons and banners, that kind of thing, and use them to raise funds. And also asking the Cubs, that's who she's with, leading, for their ideas, and still trying to work around the restrictions. So I suppose that a lot of our discussion there has been about, maybe being curtailed from fundraising, but it's also what our team do is create materials to tell the story of the poppy and why it's important to remember. And even though your young people may not be fundraising, that is still a really important message to get out there, and it's one that we hear all the time young people really resonate with, and they need that to understand what a poppy means, whether you're wearing it or displaying it in your window. So it means something to them when it comes to this time of year. They've got stories like Jennifer was talking about, of people from the past that they can think about, and it brings meaning for them rather than it just be a ritual, as it were.
Absolutely. No, it's been great to hear what you're doing, and we thank you for all your time today, but also the time you give to working with young people, and building resilience in them, and can do, and those adaptations, and keeping all of that going. That's so encouraging to hear, and we love seeing what they got up to. And we look forward to seeing people doing what they can do. But we, as I say, hope they'll be able to be back out doing their normal activities soon. So thanks for sharing those ideas, and do have a look and see what our schools have been doing as well. You might be able to find a few ideas from them as well. So it's been lovely to chat to you all this afternoon, and it's really appreciated, and we thank you for all that you do as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.